Welcome back. Welcome back. Once again, this is Rod Powell, and you're listening to the You Should Get a License, or maybe even watching You Should Get a License podcast edition, your number one source for information, education, and inspiration on the most underrated career opportunity in business today. That is a career in the financial services and the insurance industry. Very, very excited about the conversation that we're going to have today. This was a gentleman who I saw on a program, actually on YouTube, called The Ultimate Agent. And really just stood out, his work ethic, his attitude, his positivity, and said, hey, man, this guy's going to be doing some great things in this business. And I knew I wanted to have a conversation with him. I'm so excited to have him on tonight. I want to welcome from Phoenix, Arizona. He is also the host of Unknown to Unforgettable, another podcast you got to make sure that you check out, Mr. Johnny Nitafan. Johnny, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. I know it took a little bit to get on, but finally we made it happen, brother. So appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. I had to mention that you're from Phoenix because, otherwise they would look at your hat and they would say, hey, this guy is in Oakland. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
But you're in Phoenix now. Where are you originally from?
I was born in San Diego. I'll never I always have to bring that in because it's like I try to imagine myself. I had long flowy hair at one point, like it actually curled a little bit. And I was like, dang, I'd be like a nice surfer boy. But born in San Diego, moved out to New Mexico when I was 1.5. Grew up there. And then I actually ended up moving out here to Phoenix to pursue my basketball dreams. And so grew up wanting to play in the NBA, wanted to be like Steph pretty much, and just shot threes like crazy. And so I grew up playing basketball, really loving the game. And my huge desire was to go to the NBA and play professionally. However, life, God moves in random ways sometimes. And it's really cool how I ended up here in Phoenix. I was here for a basketball scholarship, not college, but it's a prep school between high school and college. And you can play and you can play colleges, but not count against your eligibility. And my goal was to move out to California, go to SDSU like my dad, pretty much go out there. However, it just didn't work out. Ended up taking all the money that I fundraised for that year so I didn't have to work to play basketball, dumped it all into a business. And at 18, started a clothing line. And pretty much I was like, hey, I want to do some big things. And the only way is to start and just make trial and error. So I dumped like $8,000 into a clothing line when I was 18. I went to college part-time. But I just did that pretty much. And so it was all right. It wasn't crazy, never got off the ground. I don't know if you're familiar with Brandon Armstrong, B.A. The basketball impersonator. I don't know if you know who that is, but he makes all these impersonations of like NBA players like James Harden and Steph Curry, LeBron, all those. So he impersonates them. He's a few million followers on Instagram and subscribers on YouTube. Well, I ended up running into him while he was playing pickup out here at Grand Canyon University. And so I walked up to him and he was like in the middle of the game, just got done. I walked up. I was like, hey, can you wear this one of my shirts and play in it? So I made a mixtape out of it. Like I made a highlight reel, sent ads to it. Best week of sales. He posted on his Instagram, just like had a bunch of people. It like sold out. Took all the money of like profit, just dumped it straight back into the business, and the next drop was a complete fail. Wow. And so I got experience about pretty much how to set up an LLC, how to like run stuff, how to create stuff that's good profit margin so you can keep alive and all these different like terms and all that. So I was like, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know how. So I did that and pretty much fell on its face. But I learned a ton. And so I pretty much went dormant for about a year, listened to stuff. And I was like, I want to do something. I don't know what I want to do. I really don't know. I want to own my own business though. So pretty much I fell in love with my wife, Bailey, and we got married And the month before we got married, I got introduced to the insurance world from her dad, because super successful insurance health insurance guy that's group benefits, and we talked through it. He introduced me to a guy that was his vendor for the voluntary side, and pretty much got going from there. And after we got married, about a month later, got my license. Pulled the trigger right away, got licensed within a week after I heard about the opportunity, and pretty much it's been up from there. So
off to the races.
Long
ever
story
since,
short, brother. Yeah, long story
short.
I
love it, man. And look, we're gonna dig in. We're gonna peel back some of the layers because there's a lot of elements there, and just kind of love the foundation. Coming from sports, you're already instilling that discipline. Then going into your years right around college or that transition where you're saying, hey, look, I want to do something that's entrepreneurial. You taking a chance, taking some risks, putting it all out on the line, getting punched in the face a little bit along the way, and then saying, okay, now I see this other opportunity and able to kind of take that to the next level as well. No, I think it's awesome, man. So let's kind of pull back a little bit and just go to just the core of what you do. You had mentioned the health benefits. I know you're on the life side. Can you just give our audience, for the people who are just listening, trying to figure out like what space they want to fit in? What is it that you do on a day-to-day basis? What area of the industry do you focus on?
Yeah, so it's business to consumer. So I'm me, and I just pretty much, people fill out requests on Facebook, and I've been having a lot of success on pretty much putting up my own ads. And I put up my own ads on Facebook, and people fill out forms on there, and it goes into my client management system and starts sending texts automated in that. And so pretty much what I do on a very, are you wanting like a high level view of what I do?
Just high level. So even
very
with like
general.
Life insurance, what do you focus on? What type of life insurance do you talk about?
Yeah. So I just do term. So term life insurance that it ends up it terminates. It's only for a short amount of time, 30, 20, 15 years, 10 years. And pretty much I just sell term life. And so I do some whole life, but the funnels are built just for term and younger audience of under 60. Because we have really good products for that, instant approvals, or approvals, instant approval products. So like I'll know if they get approved or not, pretty much on the spot. So if I need to pivot, I can. But on a very high level, people fill out forms on Facebook, and I respond to them and pretty much enroll them in different types of life insurance. And so that's pretty much on a high level what I do. But just term, I did mortgage protection for a while. I'm still building a sales organization for mortgage protection. That's pretty much just term to be able to pay off the mortgage if they were to die. However, I've moved away from that more just because the increasing lead costs with direct mail, it just gets outrageous sometimes. So it's a lot. What I've seen is a lot more profitable running my own ads and generating my own ads. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
No, I love this, and I love what you mentioned as far as the marketing aspects as well, because typically when I ask that question, usually the explanation is what is the product or market segment that I focus on and that I speak to, right? And that is very valid, and that's important. But what I like that you kind of pulled out is, okay, this is how I actually get to that market. I utilize the Facebook. It goes into my agency management system. I'm able to follow up, have those conversations, because these are the things that, when people are entering this industry, they really need to think about, right? How are you actually going to build your business? Because getting your license is really kind of the first step. Once you get your license, then you have to say, okay, well, what's my go-to-market strategy so that I can actually write policies and generate income as well. Speaking on and speaking on the term, is there and just because people hear different things like, okay, well, I'm a term person, or I'm an IUL person, or I'm a whole life person. How did you come to that as your particular market segment to focus in on?
Well, I liked mortgage protection because of the audience that was younger. However, with interest rates going through the roof, pretty much it was a lot. So for response rates to continue going down, the cost per lead to continue going up is just a lot. I really liked working in that market, and I get paid the next day pretty much on almost every carrier. So it's like within a few days of me writing the policy, getting approved, I'll get paid. And so that's what really stuck out to me, because I've written IULs. Like I wrote a big IUL the other day, about a few weeks ago. Now I'm finally getting a deposit tomorrow. And so for somebody coming in, it was funny. I was debriefing with one of my friends the other day. The biggest mistake that I made when I came into the business is I wrote one annuity that took 3 weeks to underwrite and go through. And I pretty much, after my first month, I went straight into annuities and just got annuity leads. And that was the worst thing that you can do when you come in, because you literally suck the cash flow out. It's nice. You get four quarters, but those quarters take a while. I'd rather take 100 pennies starting out, because you need that cash flow. Cash flow is the lifeline of your business. It's going to keep you going over and over and over again. If you don't have cash flow, you're going to die. And so what I quickly realized after that month of just doing annuities, I literally didn't write anything. And so it was just horrible. And I don't even know how, like, me talking to my uplines, they thought that was a good idea, but they did. And so that's one of the mistakes that, like, you wouldn't know unless you did it. And so it's like just a lesson that I can give to other people now. Do not mess with like anything that takes a while to get underwritten. Just worry about final expense or mortgage protection, and just speak to that client. It's easy to get like shiny object syndrome, and like Alex Hormozy talks about looking at the woman in the red dress in the Matrix, where it's like, oh, these little shiny objects and all around. It's so easy. It's so easy. Even in just like outside of insurance, you could look at insurance, real estate, crypto, you could look at lending, whatever it is. There's huge opportunities everywhere. And even when you niche down into the insurance space specifically, because there's health, there's life, people are like, oh, I can do final expense and I can do Medicare and I can cross sell and the world's going to be great. And it's like, it's really not. Like people talk about it, but it's like, if you don't know who your person is, then the thing I had to think about is like, who is my ideal client that I want to talk to and speak to always? If I could speak to one person every day, all day, what would that be? And it's a family that has a house that is both working, or at least one of them is making a good living and they have a few kids. That's my avatar. So I'm going to market directly to them. It's easy to get like, final expense or like annuities. Like I see some of my friends like Tracy Lounsbury, like doing like 5 million in annuity volume a month. And I'm like, dude, that's nuts. And he's like, I'm making a great income. However, I was like, if you niche down to something really small and go at that for a long period of time, you're going to be successful. And so I knew I could make $1 million or more just by doing a very small niche in the insurance space and being the master at it. So when people think of term insurance, they're coming to me because I'm the master. So that's pretty much how I narrowed it down, because then I can find referral partners. Oh, I have this family that I just wrote a term policy on. I could write an IUL too. I can add that on top of that. I'm there for the term sales, so I can continue to keep cash flow. I can add the IUL. If they have assets under management, I can send that off to an annuity referral partner, and they can write the annuity. But it's really important to have cash flow over and over and over again. So find that. If you're new to the space, find what that is, whether it's PNC and you're doing cars, or whether it's whatever it is. Find something that you can have a lot of cash flow and that you can do over and over and over again. And then you start moving out. But I think it's a lot of people, for me specifically, I just moved out way too early.
Man, that is maturity far beyond your years, man. Like just to even acknowledge that, because you mentioned, the shiny bauble, syndrome, right? People see, okay, well, this person's doing all these annuities and they're making all this money from it. Oh, well, I should do that too. Oh, well, they're doing, all of the investment products and securities. I should do that too. Right. It's about finding, your zone, your space, and then building on that, because it's all about building your confidence as well as your competence, right? Like you're the master term, but that also makes you very confident in those conversations. So you can speak to someone and really connect with them in an intelligent way. No, that's awesome. So coming into this space now, you know, you kind of found your footing, and it's interesting because, you know, as we were talking earlier before we even started recording, you know, you've really only been in the industry for about a year, correct? Like, and even having those experiences. So what has kind of helped shape, you know, that mindset? Because you say, hey, I found out early. Some people don't find out until their 5th year, right? How to niche down and hone in. What were some of the things that you utilized that helped you hone in early on?
Well, Nate offered, so that's my direct mentor and my upline, the person who really pours into me and is helping me out. And he said, like, if you want to make $10,000, you're gonna have to say you have to make 10,000 mistakes. How quick are you gonna make that? Are you gonna take a year? Are you gonna take 5 years? Are you gonna take 10 years? Are you gonna take 10 months, 5 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 hours? How quick are you gonna make that? And so from the very early point of like just this industry, but more importantly, like just life in general, when I was in basketball, how quick can I make the mistakes to learn the skill? For business, how quick can I invest $10,000 when I did 8,000 right away when I was 18? How quick can I invest that to learn how to do the thing, how to learn the skill? And so I think coming in, the biggest thing is like, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you're gonna suck at first. I mean, it's just horrible. Sometimes it's like I've been horrible as well. Like, even when Nate and I did $100,000 in annual premium volume within a month, and he really helped me out. Like, he helped me out with that, like really guide me. But it was me, the one that was actually like doing the work. Like, my presentation was horrible. Like, it really was. We have recordings of it for my first week of doing that. But it gets better and better and better and better as you go. But it's the relentless pursuit and massive action, like just massive action, because massive, like, activity is key in this business specifically. I think in any sales role, but I think especially in insurance, having massive activity, because I know that my activity will trump my skill at first. Like, I can only control activity, but I can get better over time and then become more efficient. So I wasn't really worried about making a ton of mistakes. I just saw, hey, how many opportunities can I get? Leads, like how many leads can I take out? And pretty much talk to as many people as I can. And slowly over time, I've learned what not to do. That has really allowed me to hone in on, like, okay, that really works. That works. Okay. But I really think that coming in, you just can't be afraid to fail. Like, you really can't. Like, everybody's messed up. Everybody has horrible moments, but it's like, so what? Like, nobody's going to be good at the start.
Yeah, right.
So I think a lot of people bring in their ego to the business. And like, I think I have an edge. I built a really young team. Like, our team is pretty much all under 25. And I think it's such a big advantage because we don't have a lot of things that we've done in the past. We don't have a ton of bad habits.
Right.
We're a bunch of new people, like either in college or just out of college or like didn't go to college. We haven't done anything else. So we're like, all right, well, cool. We could make 6 figures. Like, I'll listen to anything you say, and thinking that you come in and thinking that that's a lot of money. Everybody wants to make 6 figures, and it's like, okay, I'll do anything you say. And it's like, all right, cool. Then you start actually getting on pace for that. It's like, it's not that much when you really look at it. But that's like a little tangent.
Right.
But I think the overall thing is not being afraid to fail.